You are now in tune with broadband bullies. Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's the deal, YouTube? It's your boy Next Gen 720, and yes, I'm back with another video. I haven't done a video in a couple days. Last time I did a video, was it Tuesday? Last time I've done a show was Tuesday. I'm gonna come back with a show today. It's Friday. This video comes out Friday. About 6 o'clock. A lot of things to talk about. Did a show I said about, the show we did about, of course, Halo being delayed. And that's it again, we joke and we, make fun, but that's a good thing. I got something we're going to double down in my next video. But we have to talk about the rumors, you know what I mean? How you say you got to report the news. Whether it's true or not, we got to, like I said, around here we call things a buck, strike, a spade, a ball. Now, how should I say? I know Jabari and Alex bet me that the PS5 will run multiplats better than the Xbox Series X, and saying how it's more powerful hardware. Now, we're not talking about exclusives. They were just talking about multiplats, right? Now, reports are starting to come out from developers, and you hear some things. I hear things all the time. I tell you things this, right? And to be fair, like I said, it is early on. Things are not optimized, but some of you guys have been rocking out from the beginning, or a part of this community. We was hearing these same stories about the Xbox One and the eSRAM before it launched, right? Let me share my screen with you guys, and we're gonna talk about it, whether it's true. I say true, folks. I'm just gonna talk about it, right? I'm gonna give you my opinion in after, right? But hold on. I have a few articles, right? Maybe it may not matter to some, but it is what it is. If history doesn't repeat itself. So one of the huge selling points for the PS4 back, in 2013, Digital Foundry kind of coined the term the definitive version. And the PS4 ran all the multiplats better. They were 1080p on the PS4. They were 900p or 722p on the Xbox One, right? But hold on 1 second. Let me share my screen with you guys. It says here, this is from Tom's Guide. I have a few others we're going to talk about. PS5 leak claims it might struggle to run games at native 4K, right? PS5 4K performance leak is good news for the Xbox Series X. Despite it being 10.28 teraflops of power, the PS5 might struggle to run games at true 4K, where the Xbox Series X won't have that problem, right? Now, listen here. One thing also that I've talked about in the past is that we don't know the base clock speeds for the PlayStation 5. It's a variable frequency, which means is that either the GPU can be 10.28 and the CPU down here, or the CPU can be 10.28. It's variable, you know what I mean? But like I said, we have found out the base clock speeds, once the console was out in the public, you know what I mean? According to Digital Foundry, also, like I said, you had the GitHub leaks, the infamous GitHub leak they post, likes to claim, not claim, but report all the time. And that did come from AMD, and Sony went in there. Shout out to Mark Cerny, went in there and overclocked the PlayStation 5. But that's not the issue, right? Will the PS5 have amazing looking games? Absolutely. We already seen Ratchet and Clank. I can only imagine, like I said, as time goes on, and 2-3 years down the line, what the developers can do with the hardware. But let me finish, right? So according to a Twitter leak called, and this guy's here, he's talking about the Resident Evil, right? First it was 60 frames, having trouble with 60 frames. Then it went from being 1080p or a native 1080p 60, because I think frame rate is more important, or that is going to upscale to 4K, whereas the Xbox Series X will be a full 4K, right? Native 4K. Now we also got to add into something, a new thing. Now they're talking about ray tracing. Now how Sony is achieving that, it's a little different from what they're doing, like more like a software type thing, where here's the Xbox Series X has full ray tracing cores. I'm not going to get technical, smack into that, because maybe to the average Joe Smo, they may not care about that. You know what I mean? But to the tech enthusiast who has the latest, newest up OLED and stuff like that counts pixels on the screen, it might do. Me at my old age, I told you guys many times before, I can't tell the difference between native 1080p, upscale 1080p. Listen, and in this generation, I also told you, I'm not going to be counting who got more P's on this side, who got more frames on this side, but it's a no-brainer. And even like I was telling some of my Sony brethren, there's no need to die on that hill. It's a more powerful console. You know what I mean? Just stick to having the better games. And I'm not going to lie, just for what we've seen this far, from the Xbox Series X being so powerful, outside of Hellblade. Hellblade looked amazing, you know what I mean? What little did we seen, they still have all that power, but I'm just another video where I'm really going to lay it down on Microsoft, you know what I mean? But pause. But anyway, so that's one article. Then you have, you know what I mean? Then you have, like I said, this is WCC Tech, right? So the PS5 third-party devs reportedly finding hardware troublesome fake 4K, whether it's dynamic, whatever the case may be. It said the technology Sony is using for the PS5, AMD Smart Chip, and a lot of people are just assuming the PS5 is going to be right there with the Xbox Series X. And it may be. I don't know for sure. I'm not a developer, but this smart chip tech is worrisome. I think what it does is it moves power between the CPU and the GPU. Remember, I just said one can either be 10.28 or the other one can be 10.2. You know what I mean? It's variable. You know what I mean? But like I said, you know, when it's like this, where it needs it at the time, it'll go up and come back down. But right now, which is cool, the engines are dev kits early, because as time goes on with far as development, they get more and more mature dev kits, you know what I mean? And I guess then comes in optimization. You know what I mean? But and even like I said at the start of the generation, I don't expect to be blown away, honestly, visually by either console. I'm not even, this has nothing to do with like COVID. Well, it does. Because honestly, we haven't even seen any of these multi-plats really yet, you know what I mean? Around, I say year 2, hopefully when third party, Activision, Ubisoft, EA, cuts ties with 2013 consoles, and really 2010 tech, that's inside the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, that we can really see what these consoles can do. But this here, it's another article. Let me go. This is the one I really want to talk about. Enlighten. Let me see. Right, it's right here. News report that PS5 fans are worried about underpowered card. Now let's see here. The new reports that PlayStation fans were worried about the allegedly underpowered console, according to a new report. Not only will the PS5 be more expensive than the Xbox Series X, it lacks power in comparison to the console, causing developers headaches. More specifically, the console is apparently having trouble running games at 4K. We come back to this 4K thing. Some people say that the sweet spot for gaming, I even heard PC guys say this, is 1440p 60. Me personally, I want 60 frames. I want that to be a mandatory 60 frames. Now, if they got to do fake 4K, 1440p and upscale to 4K, I'm cool with that. You know what I mean? My thing is that I want 4K. I'm sorry, I want 60 frames to be a standard. Now, we got the thing from the Bloomberg report, where the initial parts of the PS5, without assembly, without shipping, tax, and tariffs, it was $450. You know what I mean? And they spent the bulk of the money on the cooling. Why is that? Because they overclocked the console, the GPU, and the CPU. Right? Regardless of what, I think Sony will have an issue. Don't get me wrong. You got people that are gonna buy the PS5 regardless, right? But I think Sony will run into an issue down the line, because I'm gonna stick to this. No one's gonna have big games really within the first 2 years, right? Charging more, if this do be the case, for weaker hardware. You see what happened to Microsoft out of the gate. The Xbox One was $500, where the PS4 was $400, right? And it was more powerful, not by much. You know, it was a lot. It was 1.3 to 1.8. People made a big to do. Now you're going from, at a minimum, at least 2 T-flops. It's a little more than that, because I believe in my heart the base clock speeds are around 9 and some change. But we just say 10 to 12, right? I don't, not saying they can do what they, because they are the market leader. I think down the line, consumer, the guys that care about that, I don't see how, or not how, why would they? Now, is that Sony being cocky again? Some people are not going to care, because again, you get some PlayStation fans that are not going to care either way. You know what I mean? It can be $700, because you're going to get God of War, you're going to get The Last of Us too. Gamers such as myself, of course, you know me, I buy everything, I play on everything, right? But so, like I said, I always own both consoles, the Xbox and PlayStation. I play shooters on my box. As far as multiplats, whether it's fighters, that doesn't really, I can play that anywhere. But shooters, I'm always going to play on the Xbox because I prefer the controller, you know what I mean? But that would, like I said, what do you got? Like I said again, what you got? Like, do you think they can do that? You know what I mean? I predicted that both consoles will be about $500. But this is the second report that said that the PS5 may cost more than the Xbox Series X. Now, I know Microsoft has the Xbox Series S. That's rumored to be between $250 and $300. You know what I mean? A low-end version. How you say, entry into the ecosystem. They got the Xbox Series S. You know what I mean? I want to see what games look like running on that. You know what I mean? But how would you guys feel? Would you pay more for the PlayStation 5? Right now at launch, and it's weaker than the Xbox Series X. Me, put them up for pre-order. I'm gonna buy both. But this is the question I'm asking you guys. You know what I mean? Another game, Resident Evil. And for those, some people say, you know what? Microsoft has the Sony has the marketing rights for XY games. It's not gonna be that big of a deal. You gotta realize this. Third party doesn't partake in Activision or whoever. They don't partake in the console war. That's for guys here, right? When Microsoft had the marketing rights for Call of Duty, was it Call of Duty Ghost? It was still 720p on the Xbox and 1080p on the PlayStation 4. You know what I mean? Maybe Sony be thing, because they are being aggressive with third-party deals, you know what I mean, and getting exclusive content for their console. You see here like Spider-Man and stuff. Maybe that may be the ace up their sleeve. I don't know, but we're just going to talk about it. I'm going to talk about it some more in this show later on. You know what I mean? But let me know what you think down below. Are they right now? They say take it with a grain of salt. I say sometimes with this smoke, this fire. Games will be better optimized later on down the line because you get newer dev kits and they become familiar with the hardware. You know what I mean? But it is what it is. Will the games eventually, multiplats rather, you know what I mean, run better on more powerful hardware? Absolutely. It's more powerful. It's a more powerful console. I have the PS4 Pro and I have an Xbox One X, and not that big of a deal, but I like Battlefield. I'm not, undoubtedly it looks better on my X. You know what I mean? I have it on the PS4 Pro too. I'm just being honest. So but if a person only have one console, will they be missing anything? Most likely, probably not. They're not. I'm just being honest. They're not. You know what I mean? And what Sony again has on their side is they have a great track record when it comes to exclusive software. At the end of the day. But anyway, this is your boy Next Gen 720. Let me know what you think down below. Is it hogwash? Is it that big of a deal? Sign me up. You don't care if the PlayStation 5 costs more than the Xbox Series X, or you're gonna wait till some games come out. I know at launch they got the Spider-Man, Godfall, which I'm looking forward to Godfall. You know what I mean? You got Godfall. I'm gonna get Spider-Man. I'm hearing Sackboy. What's the other game? Athena. I don't know if that's launching or not, but I didn't even know that was coming to the PS4. But it's from Square Enix. I don't know if that's launching or not, but that's on the PS4 also. But it'll upscale to the next gen version. But anyway, let me know what you think down below. Is it that big of a deal? No deal. You don't care if it costs more. Give you the PS5. Talk to me. Or you're buying both. I'm buying both, but let me know what you think. I'm out of here.